Is this recording?
Is it recording?
It is recording. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys. This is episode 18 of the Cosmos Confessions podcast. I'm Stacey.
I'm Vicky.
And we are here today to talk about the Jonestown massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Or mass suicide. Whatever you want to call it.
I mean, some of them didn't commit suicide.
It was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we are here to talk to you about that today. And I'm here with a husky voice.
Like Phoebe Buffet.
Yep. I get my my voice, which is it's annoying me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel great. Dragged myself here today. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
I didn't want Mum pestering me on Friday asking where the episode was. Honestly. Every time we miss one, I get a phone call. Where's the episode? I'm like,
I like how you get the phone call. I don't get that phone call.
Do you not?
No.
I was like, I just gave birth, and she was like, yeah. I was like, Mum, leave me alone. We'll release it soon, okay? No, yeah, that's my main reason, because Mum pesters me. I mean, it's at least it keeps me accountable, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just have to deal with my Phoebe Buffet voice today.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll like it more. Maybe I need to be ill more, and then you maybe everyone prefers it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just talking.
Do you want to spill your poltergeist for the week?
Oh, fuck me. I have so many poltergeists. I feel like I'm in a haunted house.
Then spill.
You would spill them all over the floor. I think maybe my first one is I need to find £1,380 for my rent. My deposit for my new house. Because I'll be moving house at the end of the month, not end of the month, the end of next month. Which why not move house when you've got 2 babies under 2 and 2 other kids?
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you?
And
do
one
that?
of them you only gave birth to
6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I want to move house now?
Yeah. Pack up a family of 6
and repaint the house and all of that fun stuff. Yeah. I need to do all of that, which is that's a big chunk of my poltergeist. There's a lot of poltergeist in that whole thing of repainting the house, packing a house.
I'm gonna get myself comfy right now. I was comfy and now I'm not comfy. And I've just dropped my notes.
And yeah, finding the deposit. The other thing is, so I took Aria for her hip scan today, and she's got hip dysplasia on both sides of her hip. So now, not only do I have all of this going on, I now need to go in 4 weeks' time, which is the moving date, by the way.
Oh.
I need to fit in a hip scan and a physio appointment for Aria to have her hip rescanned and see if it's improving. If it's not improving, then we have to go to physiotherapy with it. So, yeah. And then also she needs to go to a physio appointment for her foot because her foot points outwards and it's also concaved in the middle. So this is fun. Yeah.
Which is probably why you're ill.
Also, not only that, but on the 1st of May, which is, I don't even know when that is, in a couple of weeks' time, I've got oh my goodness, Aria's 8-week jab.
Oh.
So I have to deal with
those.
that. I have to deal with that. And then also Malachi's due another set of jabs. So I'm going to try and fit them both in the same day. I don't want to fucking do it.
Why are you trying to fit them in the same day? They're going to be grouchy assholes.
I know, but I just don't want to have to go back to the doctors again.
That's true, but then do you want to be dealing with...
I don't want to deal with it at all.
Grumpy toddler and a grumpy newborn?
No, I don't want to deal with it at all though. But that's my podcast. Got a lot going on, as well as editing and recording this podcast and the social media side and all that fun stuff. I'm just trying to climb up a hill that just wants me to fall down and die. But we're going. I'm getting my pickaxes out and I'm going to continue trying to get up the hill.
The ice hill.
I mean, I guess you would climb with a pickaxe. It's ice picks, right? I don't know. It's not icy. I don't know why the hill's icy now.
I mean, it's a pickaxe.
Guess so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about pickaxes now. What's your poltergeist fix?
My poltergeist, which you're going to have to edit out of this.
Okay. Anyway, you'll hear that bit later on of what the Vicky's poltergeist is. We can't disclose what's happening at the moment.
No.
But yes. A very interesting poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into Jim Jones. I don't want to get into him.
I mean, he tried to get into a lot of people, but
anyway, let's detour. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about the Jonestown mass suicide murder. It was awful.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard, Mum, I was just speaking to Mum about this earlier, right? She has never heard of Jim Jones or Jonestown. And then I was like, it's like the don't treat the Kool-Aid thing. And
it was like the same year she was born.
Yeah. And
how does she not know this?
She's like, don't treat the Kool-Aid. And she's like, what? I've never heard that saying in my life. I'm like, what the fuck? How are you?
I was talking to my friend Eliza about this today. And I said about Jonestown. She was like, why does that ring a bell? And I said, don't drink the Kool-Aid. She was like, oh, yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah.
And she's 21?
Well, Mum doesn't know anything about it, which is ridiculous.
So, wow, mother.
Yeah,
let's educate you today.
Yeah, I tried telling her about it, but I was like, just listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll tell you all about it. So let's get into it. Mm-hmm. So shall I go into the origins of Mr. Jim Jones?
Yeah.
And then we'll get into how, because I feel like you need to know
his backstory.
And then you can hear how he got from like A to B, basically.
Yeah.
Asshole to bullshit.
Do you know the funny thing?
I don't know what I'm saying.
When I was watching the documentary the other day and I was writing down my notes, I literally kept on thinking, oh my God, this man is pretty much Trump.
I was literally thinking that in the car journey.
Trump's doing the same shit.
Yeah. He's literally a cult leader.
Yeah.
There's so many people that it's like, no, he would never do that. I don't believe that. And it's like, it's literally in black and white. No. And it's like, are you under some weird cult spell? Like,
honestly, I think they're so brainwashed.
Yeah.
That they're like, oh, he wouldn't do that. And like, he's not a criminal. He's been convicted of so many different things, found guilty of so many different things.
Yep. He just pays his way out of it.
Yeah. And you're like, but you're saying he's not a criminal when he has a criminal record.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Okay. So, Jim Jones was born on May 13th, 1931 in Crete, Indiana, a tiny town near the Ohio. Oh my God.
Ohio?
Just shoot me now. The Ohio border.
Mm-hmm.
What was that song? The summer one was Anna Kendrick.
Hmm?
The Anna Kendrick one.
Oh, from
the film
5 years time or 5 years later. The last 5 years.
It's
that's
like,
it.
I'd rather something than in Ohio. I don't know.
I know what one you're on about, but because you're singing it differently, it now isn't computing.
I'm massacring it anyway. Sorry, I had to make a pun. I have to make this entertaining for myself because I am not feeling well, and
that's really bugging me now. What is the lyrics to it?
I don't know. And that's why I was singing it wrong.
No, my phone's not working. Oh my God, go away.
That's summer in Ohio. And Steve the Snake. No, that's wrong. I swear our listeners must think we're just on like crack or something all the time. We don't do drugs, guys.
The past 5 years, right. And then what's the songs?
I don't need drugs in my life. My life's my drug. This bit of ASMR. For you lucky people listening, where we can search on our own lyrics and we don't.
I really need to pee.
I think I need to pee, so I'm going to take a little break. See you in 2 minutes. We are back. Okay, we are back. Vicky's not her pee.
And I have also found the lyrics that Stacey's trying to butcher.
Yeah. We don't need to sing the whole thing, just need the last bit.
What, the one with the snake?
I really don't care.
Okay. I don't want to sing it. You sing it. There you go.
No one even cares. Literally, no one gives a shit about this apart from us.
It's the second verse that has the snake.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't. None of it.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
You're not even singing. You're not even in tune. Like to
That's
like.
why I'm not singing it.
I could wander Paris after dark. Take a carriage ride through Central Park. But I can't even read it of me. Oh my god, my voice is so
But
awful.
it wouldn't
too.
be as
It's
nice as the summer in Ohio.
where I'm sharing a room with a former
With a
stripper
stripper and a snake.
Wayne. That's what you were missing.
Yeah.
My awful voice.
If anybody actually wants to hear it properly, it's called Summer in Ohio, sung by Anna Kendrick from the musical The Last 5 Years.
Yeah, you're welcome for the bit of information no one even wanted. And listening to my gross voice. I can't sing on the best of days.
Yeah, but you can be like Phoebe Buffet.
Does it make me sound sexual? What was I talking about?
I don't know. Oh, he was born in near Ohio.
Okay, I'm just going to stop because we literally got 2 minutes into this and we already detoured to a song. Right. Jim Jones was born May 13th, 1931 in Crete, Indiana, a tiny town near the Ohio border.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So his father was named James... No. Was he?
I don't know. I don't actually have his father's name on here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure it was actually not the father, isn't like the father didn't. He wasn't a father anyway. I don't know what my brain's doing.
No. He called himself father.
I know that's why it fucked me over.
Oh right, okay.
But it's actually Jim Jones'
father.
His father. So his father, James Thurman Jones. James. Oh my god! Someone needs to shoot me in the head now. Just shoot me like Jim Jones. Anyway,
God.
James Thurman Jones. He was a World War I veteran who had been gassed into the trenches. He was a member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, I didn't know that. That wasn't in the documentary.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And he was chronically ill and mostly absent or emotionally distant Jim Jones's whole life.
I mean, if you're a member of the KKK, you're going to be emotionally unavailable, aren't you?
This sums up a lot of stuff. His dad was a member of a weird, would you call it a cult?
Yeah, it was a cult, 100%.
He was, his father was like that, and he was also
a major racist cult.
And then he was, emotionally distanced to Jim Jones. So it really does not surprise me.
He's like, look, Dad, I'm going to befriend all the... befriend all of the black people just to piss you off.
And his dad's running around in a white hood.
I'm going to create this community. But don't worry, I'll massacre them all at the end.
His dad's running around with a little hood on going, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm going to get you. Oh, God. That wasn't a joke about the Ku Klux Klan as well. I want to say.
It was just a joke about his dad.
You do not find the Ku Klux Klan funny.
No.
It was mainly making fun of his dad.
Yes.
Because that's the way we're going to do this, is to get through this episode, we're going to take the piss out of the bad people, okay?
Yes, 100%. That's what we do anyway.
Yeah.
We don't take the piss out of the nice people. I mean, not intentionally. But the bad people, they had it coming.
He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame.
See all the things I sent you the other day with the raccoon?
I did see that, yes.
I thought, oh my god, Stacey would love this.
Anyway, his mother was called Lynette Putnam, a staunchly independent woman who believed she had given birth to a messiah. She was often away working multiple jobs to support the family, leaving Jim to wander the town alone. That's because his dad's running around in a hood.
Yeah.
He needs to go get a job.
Yeah, he does. 100%. You can't earn a living being a little ghost.
I'm going to come get you. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. Oh, I'm going to get you. So basically his mum was away, but she thinks that Jim Jones is this amazing man who's like a messiah and godly.
So amazing that you don't spend any time with him.
Yeah.
Great mother.
she's doing well.
Yeah.
So because his parents were largely absent in his life, little Jimmy became a child of the town.
Yeah, and he craved the attention.
He did. So neighbours described him as a really weird kid.
Well, yeah, I mean, if your dad's a member of the KKK and your mum's never around, I think you're going to be a little bit messed up.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Just a tiny bit. Listen, this episode could be really depressing or it can be funny and infactual. Not infactual, factual.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, the neighbours thought he was a bit of an odd child. So by the age of 10, he began visiting every church in town.
Do you also want to know one of the weird things that he used to do?
Okay, just interrupt me, it's fine.
I will. You know what I was saying about he had like no friends?
Yeah.
He would encourage some of the kids in the town to go to these elaborate funerals. But funerals. He would make these like really elaborate funerals.
Right.
For the roadkill on the side of the road.
That's weird.
It wasn't like the neighbour's cat or something that he was doing this funeral for. No, he would find like little animals dead on the side of the road, get all the other kids to come over, and he'd do a little funeral for it.
That's weird. I can see why people think he's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the age of 10, this little weirdo is visiting every church in town. The Pentecostal, I think that's how you say it, Baptist, Methodist, basically everything, studying how the preachers moved their crowds. He was particularly drawn to the I don't know if I'm saying it right, Pentecostal? Pentecostal?
I don't know.
Holiness churches because of their high energy emotional services. So that's one thing Jim Jones doesn't know about is how he preaches and he gets everyone in the room, like it's all very emotionally.
Yeah, he joined like 5 different churches.
Yeah.
Well, but he was also obsessed with Hitler.
Yeah, I did read that. Little Hitler man. Everyone's a bit weird.
Probably gets it from his dad.
It's because he liked the way Hitler managed to control people and captivated people.
Oh, a bit like how Trump's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would often gather. Yeah, so it's kind of similar to what you're talking about. So he'd often gather children in his garage or back garden, back lot. I'm assuming that saying back lot was more like it wasn't much of a garden.
Backyard.
Yeah, it was a weird back garden. I don't know.
Just back garden. It'd be fine.
It's America. I don't know what terms are. Okay.
Yeah, what's the difference between a lot and a yard?
Is that the same as a courtyard?
I don't know.
Because a garden's different to a courtyard in the UK. So, because it's just not got any grass or anything, it's just brick. Anyway, it really doesn't matter. He would just gather children.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. And then he would preach to them. He was known to lock the doors and refuse to let other children leave until his sermon was sermon. You know, when you give a sermon, it's a sermon, isn't it?
Yeah, sermon.
Yeah, until his sermon was over. So he just lock the kids into his house until he had finished.
You will listen to my speech.
You'll not do anything else and listen to my speech, else I'll kill you.
I'll kill your cat and make you go to the funeral.
And also, this is going with what you said, he was obsessed with death. He would, basically hold elaborate funerals for roadkill. And some childhood acquaintances later claimed that he actually killed some of those animals himself, just to have a body for the ceremony.
That doesn't surprise me.
Can you imagine him going on his bike? You're my ceremony today. We're going to get you.
Hey, do you want to go to a party? A party that, you're going to be dead. Don't worry. We'll celebrate.
So, as Jones grew older, 2 traits began to merge. Begun? Oh my goodness. He became and he begun in one day.
He begun, and then he gone.
I need a drink of water in a minute because my throat is really like, I don't know if you can tell, the more I'm talking, the worse my voice is getting. I said this to Andrew.
You're going to have no voice by the end of this.
At the end of this, I'm not going to have a voice left. I could already feel it going. 1 second. Right. So, As Jones grew older, two traits began to emerge: his thirst for power and a genuine, if performative, disgust of racism. I'm assuming that's from his dad, because if his dad's in the KKK and he's not interested in that, he was very inclusive with his with race, wasn't he? Like, he had all races. He didn't care.
Yeah, he became a hero with relationship quotation as a hero to the black community.
I mean, I'll give it to him for that.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I'm going to give him.
In the 1970s, that was a big thing.
Do you think that's because they need someone to preach to them? Like, they thrive for someone to be inclusive at that point, and he's thinking, they're my audience. They're the ones I'm gonna.
I can win these people over if I can show that I'm supporting them.
Mm-hmm.
They will then
follow me
because a white man preaching to the black community and saying, "I don't see you as any different. You know, we're one and the same." They can be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Don't you think that he looks like a wish Elvis Presley?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I actually thought that the other day when I was.
But also, he looks like Jimmy Fallon.
What, as if Jimmy Fallon and Elvis Presley had a love child?
So
and then ordered it off Wish. That's what he looks like.
Anyway, the point is, we were talking about how he was he hates racism.
Yeah.
So he was never popular in school. He didn't play sports and didn't date much. Not a surprise.
I mean, you must be a bit weird to want to date him.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, you come over and his dad's like jumping around his room with a fucking
sheet on his head.
Oh my god, this is getting bad now.
Go get a drink.
No, I need to just finish this sentence.
Okay, good luck. May the odds be ever in your favour.
So he was never a popular child in school. He didn't play sports and he didn't date much. The sense of being an outsider fueled his desire to create a community where everyone was an outsider. Hence the whole I'm going to be inclusive with the racism thing.
Yeah. If you're not, I've got a quote in here somewhere that he used to say. I think it's towards the end.
Vicky's notebook.
Yeah, my little notebook that I can barely decipher myself.
She hasn't highlighted it or anything, so she has to read through the whole thing.
I don't know. Well, it's disappeared.
We have no quote. Let's move on.
Yep.
We'll find the quote later. We'll come back to it.
Yep.
So, while working as an orderly at the hospital in Richmond, Indiana, he met Marceline Baldwin. She was a nurse. They married in 1949, and Marceline remained with him until the very end in Jonestown, often acting as the moral face of the organization.
So in the documentary, there was nothing about her.
No, this is why I wanted.
There was a lot about, like, his sons were in the documentary.
Yeah. They didn't.
But there's nothing about their mother. They didn't even mention their mother.
No, and I feel like mentioning that his dad was in the KKK would have been a really good part of the documentary.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to do a bit of a backstory, because the documentaries I watched as well, they didn't have some of the information that I had already known from watching other documentaries. So I wanted to make sure we had as much information as possible.
I also have found, and I'll get to it later.
Okay.
But I found something really interesting that was kind of like, is this Mandela? So
very interesting. I'm very, very intrigued.
But it's like towards the end.
Intrigued? We're in a tree?
Intrigued.
We're treed.
We're in a tree.
Treed are we? Anyway, let's move on.
Swiftly moving on.
Swiftly we go.
Look, there's nothing swift about this transition.
Swiftly doesn't. Right. The early 1950s. In 1952, Jones became a student pastor at a Methodist church in Indiana. And I can never say this.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's a stupid word. It's a stupid word. In Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
There, I'm not repeating it. But he soon clashed with the leadership. So, wrong with my voice.
You good?
Yeah. Jones wanted to integrate the church, bringing in black congregants. Is that right? Congregants? That sounds right.
I don't know. My brain doesn't work.
Yes, that's it. I can't read it anyway. Congregants. When the whiteboard of the church refused.
Oh, because you can't love thy neighbour if they're black.
I read whiteboard and I was like, they had whiteboards back then?
Wow.
The whiteboard, as in board.
The board of,
church.
yeah, the leaders.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, fuck you, no blacks, no.
Yeah, because, you know, God loves everybody apart from the black people, apparently.
Even though
you're supposed to love thy neighbour.
And Jesus was most probably black.
He was.
I mean, it's like so stupid.
He was.
Such a stupid thing. No, we don't like them, but actually...
the person that we praise is actually from Jerusalem and is black.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Somebody is stupid.
So because of this, he decided to start his own. Jones realised that social gospel, helping the poor, didn't draw crowds as fast as faith healing. He began using psychic tricks, performing fake surgeries, or discerning secrets about people in the audience, which he had gathered beforehand through spies or trash digging. Because he was a trash digger, apparently.
Bendigo?
Hello, Bendigo. What are you doing today?
Get your trash today?
Get my trash and my roadkill at the same time. Gonna perform a service for this one later.
Step right up, it's a Bendigo.
I'm a Bendigo. You got my white trash bag on.
Oh, look, a penny.
Oh, look, a piece of candy. Anyway, we need to stop getting sidetracked. But basically, he was just trying to convince people that he had divine powers. Kind of like Trump's trying to do at the moment.
Oh, yeah. And
do
you know what he said about that?
What?
So, you know,
the
picture where he made himself to look like Jesus.
Yeah.
He said, he was like, yes, I did post that, but I thought I was working as a Red Cross worker.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what's wrong with you?
Surely, if you put it into an AI thing saying you want to be Red Cross and that sort of stuff, it would have you in like a nurse's outfit with the Red Cross on
behind you.
Yeah. You wouldn't be dressed as Jesus. You've been some sort of nurse's outfit.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to see him in a nurse's outfit. So, in 1955, he opened the Wings of Deliverance, soon renamed as the People's Temple, Full Gospel Church. So, to prove his commitment to the racial equality, Jim and Marceline adopted several children of different races, calling them their rainbow family. Feel that's like slightly racist.
Sorry, all I had is the ASDF movie.
Don't you think he's like Disney? You know,
he's just trying to he's thinking that races are like Pokemon. You got to collect them all. I'll have the Chinese. I'll have the Indian. I'll have the black man from somewhere.
You know how Disney's trying to be all inclusive?
Yeah,
that's what he's like. Basically, he was the first white man in Indiana to adopt a black child.
Yeah.
And he wanted an award for that, apparently. He wanted to be the rainbow family. I'm adopting the first black child. I'm the best.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm, adopting a child.
Yeah.
And he's a different race to me.
Yeah.
Like, praise me.
Praise Jesus.
Apparently his kids actually hated the term rainbow family.
Well, who would like that term?
No, I know. Like, I wouldn't want to be like, that's a rainbow family. I think you might have to edit that out.
Okay, let me reply to you again. I see why
Sorry, Stacey's trying to re-answer because her answer
Could offend.
could offend people, not intentionally, but
We have to be careful about what we say.
yeah.
I don't mean anything in any mean way or anything, but
Sometimes her brain tells her mouth to speak before it can actually think.
anyway, I could see why they wouldn't like the term rainbow family.
Yeah.
It's not a great term. I'm gonna leave it as that. So while he used the language of the Bible to attract followers, Jones was privately a militant atheist and socialist.
How can you be an atheist and still be preaching and
Because
going to church?
he wants people. It wasn't about them. He wants them to praise him. They don't want
Okay,
him
yeah,
to.
because he was their god.
Yeah, exactly. That.
Yeah.
So he.
But yeah, how can you be an atheist and still believe in a god, even if it's yourself?
Narcissist atheist. I don't know. It's a different term.
He was also in a shit ton of drugs, so
yeah, and he's just a nutter.
Yeah.
You can't really give him. You can't, say, oh, this is what he did, because no one fucking knows why. No one knows what he liked. No one really knows anything because he was a fucking crazy person.
You only knew what he wanted you to know.
So he later admitted that he only used the religious term, like the religious part of whatever he was trying to do, to basically lure people into the building, so then they could worship him. Is basically what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the early 1960s, Jones became obsessed with the idea of a nuclear holocaust. He read an article in the Esquire magazine that listed the Ukiah, California, I think that's how you pronounce it, as one of the safest places in the event of a nuclear war.
Yeah. So in 1965, he tells his followers that if they don't move with him to California, there's going to be a nuclear war and they will die if they stay there.
What a lovely man.
Yeah, so he's like basically like, come with me or stay here and die from a nuclear war.
Yeah, and he actually convinced about 140 of his followers to move with him to Redwood Valley near Ukiah. And this was the turning point where the temple shifted from a local church to a scheduled high control cult. So that is basically the start of the shit show that is leading to Jonestown.
Yeah.
They stayed there for a while, and then they went to San Francisco. He became a very powerful political figure, and he was actually someone who was assisting in the election of Mayor George Moscone. I don't know who he is, but he helped.
So during this time of him opening up the People's Church or whatever it was called,
Yeah.
He was doing all these like healings,
Right.
and saying like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a healer." You know how some people
to bring him into the church.
Yeah, one of them was because they filmed a lot of it, because obviously it was in the documentary and everything, so we had clips of what they used to do.
Yeah.
There was a video of this woman. She was sat in a chair with a cast on her leg, and he was like, "You broke your leg yesterday." She was like, "Yeah, broke my leg yesterday." And he's like, "I'm going to heal it." So he takes the cast off, does his whole
witchy woo,
and this woman gets up and starts fucking running around.
Right.
And her leg is completely healed. Do you know how that happened?
I would love to know how that happened.
They drugged her the night before.
Fuck me.
Put a cast on her leg, and when she woke up, they told her she had been in an accident and broke her leg. That woman's leg was never broken. They staged the whole thing.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And she was like fully convinced, because obviously if you just woken up, you're all groggy, and someone's like, "Oh, you've been in an accident, you fell over and broke your leg." You can be like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I believe that."
That's mad.
Yep. So everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're walking around, new leg." No, it's fine the whole time. But he also would tell the black people that if they didn't join his church, they would be put into concentration camps. So, but because of the whole racist stuff going on in America and everything like that, he was like, basically, if you don't join my church, they'll take you and they'll put you in concentration camps. You'll be safe with me.
Oh, wow.
So that's how he managed to get a lot of the people. And he also is awful. You know how manipulative he is?
Yeah.
He would manipulate women to have sex with him by telling them that that's how they became a part of the church. That's how they got initiated into the church, by sleeping with them.
Shit.
And you know the iconic glasses that he wears makes him look like Elvis Presley. Do you know the reason behind that?
What?
It's because he's so off his head on drugs. It's to hide how bloodshot his eyes are. Wow. The eyes are always red and puffy. But his reason for it is because, and this is in quotes, it was because the light of the Lord is so bright.
Oh, it's so bright for him.
Yeah, and there was another part of it, and I didn't quite catch the end of it, but it was something to do with, like, if you look at the Lord's light directly, it will blind you or something like that. But yeah, that was some of the stuff, and I found my quote.
Oh, here's the quote that we were missing.
If you wasn't with us, you were against us. That was his thing.
And you couldn't remember that?
I couldn't remember that. No. No, I did not.
Okay, right. Wow. We left off in like 1965, right? That's where we kind of last went to. Yes, because they just moved to California.
Uh-huh.
So in 1966 to 1969, the temple operates as a scheduled rural community. So Jones begins to transition his meetings from traditional Christianity to apostolic socialism. He starts demanding that members sell their homes and turn all of their assets over to the church. And this is how he would kind of like, one, pay for Jonestown, and two, control the people because they can't go anywhere. They've sold everything.
Oh, and three, to better fund his drug habit.
Well, yeah, that. But I mean, this man, how did he do it? How did he get so many people to sell their homes and give him his assets? They had nowhere to go. They had nothing to go back to because they've literally given all of their money to Jones. That's it. Like, they have nothing else. So even if they wanted to leave, where are they going to leave?
It's crazy how, like, brainwash you can make people.
Yeah.
Like, how you can get them to so believe in something that they're willing to give up everything.
Yeah.
For one person.
Yeah. Just for some random guy.
Yeah.
So, in 1970, Jones expands his temple to San Francisco, like I mentioned a minute ago, and to Los Angeles. So he begins busing hundreds of followers between cities for massive healing services, like you mentioned with the past. And in 1971, the temple headquarters officially moves to San Francisco. So they officially moved there now. So Jones begins to court high-profile politicians, providing volunteers for campaigns and protests. In 1973, the 8 revolutionaries, like the high-ranking members, my goodness, right? Reread that. In 1973, 8 high-ranking members defect, accusing Jones of financial fraud and physical abuse. This triggers,
which is true.
Yeah, so this triggers Jones's deep paranoia, and he begins looking for an escape outside of the United States.
Do you also little little detour? So one of the other things that he used to do is, which is also one of the reasons people are looking into him for like physical abuse and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
because he would have boxing matches.
Right.
So if people stepped out of line,
Mm-hmm.
he would put these people in a ring, like 1v1, but it wasn't like one massive guy versus one massive guy.
Yeah.
It was one massive guy versus a very small guy.
Oh.
And the small, like, if you were the one in trouble, you weren't allowed to fight back. So you were beaten the shit out of. And that was the punishment.
He's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's horrible. So, in 1974, this is where it all starts happening. In 1974, Jones signs a lease with the Guyanese government for
Hold on.
nearly...
You're in 1974.
Yeah.
I'm in 1972. An important thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You go.
In May of 1972.
Oh, you're behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I just done 1973.
Oh, well, I am now going back to 1972.
1 second, we're time travelling. Going back to 1972.
In May of 1972, on one of their Sundays, they were doing like a outside dinner thing that was quite common for them to do, like a community gathering after church, and it was outside of the church. They were doing all that stuff, and there was an assassination attempt on Jim Jones. So apparently they were all enjoying their lunch, and then they heard gunfire.
Yeah.
Jim Jones down on the floor, and there's blood everywhere. They were all told to go inside the church and wait. So they were in there for a while, and then his security guard walks into the church carrying his shirt with bullet holes and blood.
Right.
And they're all thinking, shit, our leader is dead.
Right.
Guess who comes walking in behind?
He's such a piece of shit. I'm assuming, did you do it on purpose?
Yeah, Jim Jones.
Fuck
He
me.
staged it and claimed that he had healed himself.
Oh my god, this man. This man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The audacity.
Yeah, he claimed that he healed himself. And this was because he was saying that, basically he was trying to say that people were out to get him before this had happened. He was like, people are out to get me because I am, bringing people together, like the black and white community.
Yeah.
People are against it. They're out to get me. They want to kill me. And so...
Is this why he's trying to convince them to move? At
yeah.
This point? Right.
Yes. Yeah, so he's like, they're trying to kill me. They don't want this. He has the assassination attempt, heals himself,
mm-hmm.
and then it's like, see what I mean?
Look at me.
I can heal myself, but also I was right.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, and to add to that, which is another reason why people stayed in the church, not only did they donate everything to him, he also made them sign statements saying that they wanted to kill the president and all these other things. Yeah, he would force these people.
I did not
to
know
sign.
this part.
Yeah, to sign documents with basically anything on it. This one woman on the documentary was saying she signed a piece of paper saying that she wanted to kill the president, and there was like loads of stuff. And sometimes they would sign blank pieces of paper. So he would add whatever he want.
Wow.
So he had these people under the thumb, basically saying, if you leave, I'm going to send this off and you're going to get done for it.
That's mental. I did not know that.
Yeah. He was a piece of shit.
He really was. Oh, okay. Well, in 1974, Jones signs a lease with the Guyanese government for nearly 4,000 acres of jungle land. A small pioneer crew sent to Guyana. Guyana? I think that's how you say it. Guyana. Which is basically in South America, to begin clearing the land for what would become Jonestown. Dun, dun, dun. Right. Water break and be back in 2 minutes. Mere seconds for you. You're welcome. We are now in 1975. Jones plays a key role in the election of George Muscone, which was what I basically said earlier.
Yeah.
It was just a bit, or like I said it earlier. I'm going to say it now. So you're welcome. You got it twice. Got the facts twice. As mayor of San Francisco. And in return, Jones is appointed to the San Francisco Housing Authority Commission. And then in 1976, the temple's power is at zenith. Oh my goodness. Zenith? Zenith, yes. The temple's power is at zenith. Jones meets with vice presidential candidate Walter Mondale and the First Lady Rosalind Carter. In 1976, again, behind the scenes, journalists at the New West magazine begin investigating the temple. Jones' drug use, primarily amphetamines and barbiturates. I can't read that word.
Barbarities?
Yes, that escalates as his health and mental state decline.
Yes. So, because he was so paranoid from all the drugs that he had taken, he was scared that his people would betray him. So he developed what was called the Planning Commission.
Right.
But it was pretty much law enforcement. And this is before they moved out to Jonestown.
Okay.
This started off as like, oh yeah, this is just to help smooth things along.
Mm-hmm.
But it was basically, if you'd done something wrong, you were sent to the Planning Commission. And then you were put into the box of matches. He had the Planning Commission or law enforcement thing. And then there was a woman who finally got out. She was like, this is not okay. Something's not right. I'm leaving. She left with one of the bus drivers because they went out for the day, I think it was, to do all this publicity stuff.
Right.
And she was one of these people that would speak out quite a lot and be like, what do you mean? Like that doesn't sound okay.
Right.
So she was getting in a lot of trouble all the time. And when she was out that day, people were like, just to let you know that the People's Commission or Planning Commission have been talking about you. You're going to get beaten when you get back. So she actually had a son. I can't remember how old he was, but she had a son, and Jim Jones claimed him as his own.
Oh, I think I remember actually reading something about this.
Yeah, she was called Grace Stowen. And she, was told to leave because if she didn't, they were going to beat her and kill her.
Yeah.
She left her son behind because she knew that she couldn't take him with her because Jim had already been like, he's mine, and like made a massive thing about him. So she left him there and left with one of the bus drivers. So Jim got really pissed at this point because he hated it when people left. He made a massive thing about it and was like calling them criminals.
They weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah. And this is one of the quotes that he had said about her, saying, "Life has no meaning other than principle, and I could not let that child go with that criminal, Mrs. Grace Stowen."
Of course, criminal, yeah.
Yeah, so if they left, they were criminals, they were bad people, they were awful. So because of so many people like getting out, and he was getting pissed off about it, he gave the People's Commission the ultimate test.
Okay.
He took them to a vineyard and gave them wine, and after they drank it, he told them that they only had an hour to live because he had poisoned it.
Right.
So he wanted to see their reactions to how they would be like to death, basically, and how they reacted to their own death. So he was like, are they going to beat the crap out of me? Are they going to be like, oh, okay. So after about 45 minutes, he turned around and was like, just joking.
Just joking, guys.
And they were fine with it.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, cool, I have complete control. So I just thought that was quite interesting of how he was like,
yeah, you'll find
if somebody did that to me, I would have punched him and left.
The thing is you'll find in this whole story of Jonestown that he does this a lot. He tests them a lot. he does stuff to fuck with them just to see how loyal they are. And we will cover this again and again probably in this episode.
It's crazy of how loyal they are, though.
They are so loyal, and it's because they're all getting mind fucked.
Yeah.
So, where are we now? What was the last thing I spoke about? You went into that. Yes, we just spoke about his drug addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, August 1st, 1977, on the eve of the New West article being published, which detailed beatings, fake healings, and financial donations in quotation marks made under duress, Jones flees to Guyana.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaia. It's not Guyana. Gaia.
Yeah.
Well, it's Guyana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guyana. It's because you said Guyana and then you're like Gaia, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Gaia, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Guyana.
It's Guyana. So, I'm just going to say South America if I can't say it because, it's Anyway, in August to December 1977, over 900 followers follow Jones to the jungle. They've arrived to find the project is nowhere near finished.
Do you know how he got them out there?
No.
So he sent out, in 1973, he sent out people.
Yeah.
Like a group of people to say, like,
To start
bulldozing.
Yeah.
Because it was in trees. They had to cut down all the trees and all that. He sent out people like that. And his sons were part of that as well. And because the new articles came out, he was afraid that people were going to find out where he's gone to. So instead of flying them all out at once, he sent them to different airports, and they were flying out 3 at a time. They weren't allowed to sit next to each other or say that they knew each other.
Right.
And at 4:30 every day, there was people coming out in 3s, different airports.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That's
because
odd.
he was so paranoid.
This man, guys, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, over 900 of them had done that weird thing of having 3s being sent out. And they, like they said, they arrived to find that nothing's been finished. The socialist Eden that was promised is actually a series of overcrowded, sweltering barracks with insufficient food.
Yeah.
He's basically given them this dream, and it's actually a fucking hellhole.
Well, it started off looking like a dream because they're like, we have doctors, we have a pharmacy, like they had, I think they had like a cinema or something, and then they quickly were like, we have no food. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. So, we are now in Jonestown.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get into everything that happens in Jonestown.
Yeah.
This is a very long episode. I'm so sorry, guys, but you have to I want to give you all of the details that we possibly can.
Yeah.
On this.
You know, the days, so because they were all like a community thing, they worked 6 days a week, and their days started at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That's a long ass, like,
it is,
thing.
And we'll get into that again in a second. So we are going into everything now that is going on in Jonestown, leading up to the demise of so many people. This is the depressing part. I mean, it's all depressing, but like this is where it starts to get real. This happened to so many people. So, like Vicky said, the workday, residents typically worked between 11 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and had half a Sunday off, basically. And they worked the other half because why not?
If you're going to go to a promised land, you're not expecting to work.
No.
If somebody said to me, oh, you're going to go out to a promised land, you can have everything you ever want, you're going to live in peace and harmony, I'm like, oh, amazing. You know, we'll all pitch in and like there's a nice community, but we're not actually like working. But no, you're forced to work.
Yeah, a lot. So they cleared dense jungle by hand and farmed in the soil that was actually quite poor, leading to a constant struggle for food. So this man has decided to move around out there. They haven't got food properly. They can't farm properly because the soil isn't good enough.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, we'll live off the land. And the land's like, the fuck you will.
I am not funding your drug habit. So sleep deprivation was a big thing.
Oh, yeah, he was fucked up.
So this was a primary tool of control that he found. After a full day of labour, residents were often forced to attend people's forum. And that's in quotation marks, by the way. Meeting, like these people's forum meetings, basically, that lasted until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And do you know what would happen if they fell asleep during these people's forums?
No, because I didn't actually see that in the documentary.
Yeah, so they would, after working all day, then they have to go fucking do these forums when basically they sit. From what I found out anyway, it might not have been that, but they sit and they, assuming they probably listen to him talk for however long. If they fall asleep, like there will be a guard or Jim Jones holding a gun to the head, telling them, you do not fall asleep. If you fall asleep, I'll shoot you.
Jesus.
And that was actually a quote from one of the...
I'd be shot on the first day.
Yeah. Like there was someone, like literally a survivor who said that, like that was what would happen. She fell asleep.
Well, yeah, you've just worked like 13-hour days.
When she woke up, she had a cold gun on her head. And he said that if you fall asleep, I'll shoot you.
That's awful.
So that's part of the torture that he used to do.
Mm-hmm.
So Jim Jones also had, because he's obsessed with himself.
Yeah.
He loves himself. He loves to talk. He loves people to know that he's there. Jim Jones' voice was broadcasted over massive PA systems. There were 24 hours a day. He could just pop up. He read news, often distorted to make the US sound like it was in a state of race war or nuclear collapse. Because he's a fuck.
Yeah.
He gave orders and he ranted on there because why not? Have that as your little box to rant to people.
But it wasn't even like proper ranting. It was like drug-induced ranting.
Yeah.
Like watching the documentary, it was like, you fucker, you this, you that. And I was like,
yeah.
What?
This man.
Like, he was like swearing and like horrible down there.
Whilst he's doing all this shit and think, yes, this man.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to praise this man who's swearing at me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
But I guess that's how he controls people because he's mentally abused them for so long. They're all like,
I actually on my notes I have being a dick over the speaker. That's literally what I wrote on my notes.
But people pretty much just slept with his voice in their ears. Yeah. He was there 24 hours a day, and because he's on drugs, this fucker's up until whatever time.
Yeah, and he really upped his drugs since being in Jonestown.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying that he would just pee off the side of the sidewalk. He didn't even care. He would just stumble around and just pee wherever he wanted to. And he would be like slurring his words while he's talking, like during his sermons or over the speakers. He was fucked.
He really was.
He was off his rocker every day.
So, not only was the sleep deprivation and the stupid noise shit that he would do with the speaker part of, it was also to do with like the diet and health is also coming into this. So, while Jones was in his inner circle, Jones and his inner circle ate relatively well meat and fresh produce because why not?
Mm-hmm.
The rank and the file members, so the lesser people, I guess, in his eyes, lived mostly on rice, beans, and slop, like a watery soup. So he would be living it up, and everyone who's working for him,
working the 12-hour days, 6 days a week, sleep deprived,
would eat
like
shit.
Oh, I'm just gonna eat my rice and beans.
They are not being nourished the way they need to be nourished after working that much either. Like, these people are starving.
They need a good steak.
Yeah.
Like, they need proper food.
They need calories.
Yeah.
And despite having some trained medical staff, many residents suffered from tropical diseases, chronic diarrhea, and malnutrition. mainly because they
Surprise.
haven't got food they're going to be eating, and just general being
Living
out.
in the jungle, you're
Yeah.
going to get bit by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
There's all sorts going on.
And you don't have proper healthcare.
No.
You've got maybe
or proper sanitation.
No. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So.
Like, they don't even have proper running water.
I just don't understand why you think, yes, go in the jungle.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Well, he's proven that.
Yeah. So Jones used the pharmacy to keep people sedated. Those who were difficult or enlightened.
Enlightened, yeah. So like they were like, oh,
no, it's not.
I actually know.
No, it's agitated.
Oh, I think it's like it's like actually seems,
aware.
Yeah, like
it's why it made sense in my head, and I was like, that doesn't say that. This is agitated.
It's not even the same letters.
They were often drugged, and in a lethargic state in the special care unit, quotation marks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just oh, you're bugging me today, so I'm gonna put you in the special care unit.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going into psychological and the physical punishments, and we're going to talk about the learning commission that Vicky mentioned. So yeah, he had this learning commission to handle discipline, which he had already started, like Vicky said, before the whole thing.
Yeah,
this learning commission was in place. Punishments for minor infractions like complaining about food or missing a meeting included. Public humiliation, so members were forced onto a stage to be mocked, screamed at, or forced to confess sins in front of the entire community.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it even a sin if you're forced to do
it? I don't know. The blue-eyed monster, so a terrifying punishment for children where they would be taken into a dark room and given small electric shocks while being told a monster was attacking them for being bad.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
That's like Krampus on steroids.
Can you imagine? Like, their life, like, I mean, they're not alive now, which is actually really fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the amount of therapy they would need? Being like, if you ever got a fucking shock, monsters behind me. That's fucking horrible.
I mean, when I went to IKEA the other week, Nina was giving me electric shocks by accident.
I mean,
there's something in that shop. Every time he touched me, I got an electric shock. It was awful.
Wow.
Imagine that. Imagine you have PTSD from that. You're like, shit, there's a monster
that's the
here.
blue-eyed monster.
Jesus.
Literally, I guess they call the blue-eyed monster because the taser
is blue.
Would have the two prongs.
Yeah.
And it would look like a blue-eyed monster in the dark.
Yeah.
That's really fucking horrible. Poor little children.
This man was fucked up on drugs. The amount of shit that he used to think up.
They would probably get that if they were like, I don't like this food. And what child doesn't say that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't like this slop.
So they also had a sensory deprivation box.
Oh.
A small wooden crate buried underground. Defiant members.
Oh god, I hate that.
Mm-hmm. Defiant members were locked inside for hours or days in total darkness.
Jesus, no.
That one would
My worst fear is being buried alive.
That would really trigger me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I'd come out shaking.
And now we are in the physical beatings, and this is what Vicky covered that they used to do before Jonestown, where they have a public boxing matches where a dissenter, I don't know how to pronounce that, but was forced to fight a much stronger opponent, or simple paddlings with a heavy wooden board.
Do you know, also in the night he would just have random sirens going off?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Just to fuck with their sleep.
Such a shit.
Imagine that you're trying to sleep after a long ass day. You got him rambling on the intercom thing.
I can imagine a little rave with the sirens. Whip, whip, the police.
He probably thought that he was like having a great time.
Probably.
And everybody else was like, shut the fuck up, Jim.
Yeah, he's having the best time in the world, but really he's at a rave for one.
Yeah.
This man. So, this one really triggers me that he used to do this. So he had a thing about families. He did not like families being together, because they could conspire against him, basically.
But he was allowed his rainbow family.
He was allowed his rainbow family. But he actively worked to destroy, like, the nuclear family is what he would call it. So he thought that if there was a family, they were gonna pit them against him, and then he would have an enemy. His paranoia is like super getting to him.
Yeah.
So he encouraged children to spy on their parents and vice versa, and like just pit them against each other.
Wow. I suppose because it's like his way of thinking would probably be like, there's no stronger bond than a family.
Yeah, exactly.
So I need to break that bond so that
So do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't want to know.
Family. Have you read? Did it cover that?
The documentary I watched was supposed to have more episodes, I believe.
Oh.
But there was only 2.
Oh, okay.
So it cut off from like the last part of what was going on in Jonestown.
Right. Well, this documentary I watched didn't even mention this. The documentary I watched a few years ago did, so I'd done some extra research to get you this information, because some documentaries don't actually do it.
Yeah, some of them are like, oh yeah, this is what happened, and then some of them are like, actually, this happened, but also this, and this happened.
Yeah. This one really triggered me, and it's going to trigger you. So, as Jonestown became more crowded, families were often physically separated.
Ugh.
Yeah. So adults lived in segregated dorms or crowded cabins, and the children were often moved into separate youth cottages.
Wow.
Yeah. So this meant parents frequently had very little private time with their own children, seeing them only during work breaks or communal meetings.
So you weren't even allowed to see your kids, but you also weren't allowed to see your husband either.
Yeah, because Jim Jones basically claimed every child, they were his. And again, because they didn't want the families being close. Yeah. So if the mother, the father, and the children are all separated, he's breaking that family down. There's no family unit there anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so Jones thought that the concept of a mother and a father was bigorious or capitalist attachment. So he insisted that he was the only true father. So hence his title, Dad, to everyone, like all the children and stuff.
That's just awful.
The community was a collective parent.
But how does he expect his community to grow if you're separating the men and women?
I don't know.
Because you can't have a child with a woman and a woman, or a man and a man. It doesn't work like that, obviously, unless you adopt or all the other methods you can do. But
that's not what we're talking about.
You haven't got that out there.
No.
So what's he doing? Is he just like, oh, we need some more babies, so we're just going to set up this little cabin. You can go in there with your husband, make a baby, and then once you're done, I'll send in the next couple.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I do not know. But parents were discouraged from showing excessive affection to their own children, as it was seen as a sign of weakness or individualism.
Wow.
So you weren't even allowed to like give your kid a cuddle or anything like that.
God, imagine growing up in a place like that where you don't have a parent.
Yeah.
You don't know what love feels like.
So the next part is about forced adoptions and custody battles. So the John Victor Stolen case is one thing. So the most famous example involved a child named John Victor Stolen, and both Jones and a defector named Timothy Stolen claimed paternity.
Yes, so that would be Grace Stolen's son, because Jim claimed him as his own when he wasn't.
So Jones kept the child in Jonestown, as a virtual hostage to keep the parents from speaking out.
Yeah.
Which is fucking horrible.
Yeah. She did in the end. She was she helped release the what do you call it? The article.
Yeah.
Which then led the people to Guyana.
Yeah, exactly. So if a parent was seen as troublesome or wavering in their loyalty, Jones would resign their children to be raised by more loyal members, quotation marks, of their inner circle. So this acted as a powerful deterrent against anyone thinking of escaping. They knew if they had tried to leave, they would leave their children behind in the hands of strangers.
That's awful.
So it was literally like, you try and leave, fine. I'll keep on your child.
Yeah. Thing is, it's like, it's probably different for those who were having babies within that community, like giving birth in the community, and then having that child taken. But if you went into that community with children, you've already got that bond. That's just...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously having your child taken away anyway is awful.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have... I mean, you would have that bond, but...
If it's taken away...
like, you wouldn't be able to work on that bond. You wouldn't be able to strengthen it. So it'd still be there, but it wouldn't be as strong as what, like a 10-year bond or even like a 6-month bond.
No. But so this is going into the child informants part, where Jones encouraged children to report their parents into the learning commission, in quotation marks, for any counter-revolutionary talk, like complaining about the heat or the food. They would, if they were to do that, they would report it to the learning commission.
Imagine having snitched on by a kid.
And then if a child reported a parent, the parent would be publicly humiliated or beaten in front of the child to prove that family was the temple, not the biological unit.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically that the people temple, whatever it's called, is the most important thing. The biological aspect, not so much. So this systematic separation is what made the final day so horrific, because the children were often grouped together or under the care of nurses and teachers rather than their parents. So the death squad was able to administer the poison to the children first by killing the children in front of the parents or before the parents could intervene. Jones ensured that the adults would feel they had nothing left to live for, and effectively breaking that last bit of resistance.
I mean, that would break me.
Yeah. So, have you got anything else to add before we go into...
I do. So, you know when I said earlier about the little Mandela thing?
Yes.
So, obviously you haven't mentioned it yet, but you were mentioning the Kool-Aid, in which what was used to kill them.
It's not a Mandela if I think I know what you're talking about.
Wow. Let me find it. Well, I don't even know why I'm trying to find it. I already know it. In the podcast of That's Why We Drink, she was saying how it was called... hang on. Flavor-Aid. There we go. She was like, in the documentary she watched, it was called Flavor-Aid, and she was like, I'm just going to correct everybody now that it's Flavor-Aid, because the documentary she watched, there was like a big case of the Flavor-Aid in there, and it said Flavor-Aid, and there was a big thing, and they were saying about how it was like the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And the documentary I watched yesterday, that I finished watching yesterday, they opened up the chest,
it had
and it's actually Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I think they had
there?
Kool-Aid for them to drink, but I think the actual I think the stuff they used was Flavor Aid because they needed so much of it.
Oh, okay. Because my documentary didn't get to that part.
Yeah.
It cut off. So I just thought I'd point that out.
Okay, so before we go into the final days, I also wanted to mention they had this thing called a White Night ceremony.
Yeah.
So basically, Jim Jones would occasionally he would basically test the loyalty of his what would you call them? People, I don't know. Followers, yeah. So he would want to test the loyalty of them. And he would hold these ceremonies called the White Night ceremonies. And he would basically tell them to drink this poison. He would tell them at this point, it's poison. You drink it to show how much, how loyal you are. So he was doing this before all of this was happening. This man was getting these people to drink poison and see if they would do it. And
he also
they did.
Told them as well that they were drills. So he would tell them that the people were coming to kill them all, and take them and torture them and all this stuff. He was like really into scaremongering.
Yeah.
Basically saying if the Americans or the people come, the best thing to do is to end it before they make you suffer. So he would often do drills.
Yeah.
So people would automatically do it.
So that's basic. I wanted to touch on that before we go into this.
He used the Kool-Aid for those rituals.
So they were kind of used to that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get into the days leading up and what caused all this to happen, okay?
Yeah.
So, Congressman Leo Ryan was the only sitting US congressman ever assassinated in the line of duty, by the way. His presence in Guyana was the spark that Jim Jones used to justify the final massacre. So here's basically a breakdown of why he was there and the sequence of events that led to his murder, because this is a key part to the Jonestown massacre, okay? So, Ryan didn't just decide to visit on a whim. He was pressured by a group called the Concerned Relatives. Okay? I'm assuming that's the concerned relatives of the people that had left.
Yeah, they were trying to get them out.
Yeah.
They were like, they're being held hostage, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want my family back.
Yeah, so many of Jones's followers were from Ryan's district in San Francisco Bay Area. Families were receiving terrifying reports of human rights abuses, including beatings, forced labor, and people being held against their will. The stolen custody battle that we mentioned earlier, a high-profile legal battle over a child, John Victor Stolen, brought national attention to the cult. So Jones claimed that he was the father and refused to return the boy to his mother, who had defected.
Yeah.
That's what we mentioned earlier. The Galung concern. So Ryan was the chairman of a subcommittee with jurisdiction over the US citizens abroad. So he famously stated that if Jonestown had become a gulag, a gulag, maybe that's what it's gulag, not a gulag, a gulag, he would do everything in his power to free the captives. And that's what he sat there to do.
My stomach.
So
Jesus.
Ryan arrived on November 15th, 1978 with a delegation of journalists, the NBC and various newspapers, and several concerned relatives, in quotation marks. So, the Friday night performance, November 17th. Initially, Jones tried to put on a show. There was a large dinner and a musical performance. To the journalists, it looked like a happy, integrated community. However, during the dancing, a member slipped a note to the NBC reporter that read, "Please help us get out of Jonestown." This was a no-no, by the way. They were not allowed to have like one-to-one contact with these journalists. That was one of the rules that Jones had kind of said.
Well, yeah, he can't
He
let
does
his
not
people
want, he's
tell
too
them what's going on.
paranoid to let them talk to them. So that was a
Yeah.
no-no. So the fact that they were handing them these letters was a big thing.
Yeah.
And I did read, I watched the documentary. This guy was saying that he saw someone pass this journalist letter. He told his dad, and then his dad was like, right, this is our out.
Yeah.
You tell your sister and your mum, we are going to get out of here, basically.
Yeah.
It's literally like a snowball effect from here. Like, it's just, yeah.
It's just devastation after this.
It really is. So the Saturday confrontation on November 18th. This is where the veneer of like the paradise shattered the next morning. So by midday, about 16 people had publicly declared they wanted to leave with Ryan.
Yeah.
Jim Jones was devastated and humiliated, muttering that he had failed and that the defectors were liars. Of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
As Ryan was preparing to leave the compound, so basically all of these people had left beforehand, right? This is what I've
they were
watched
waiting
on the
at the airport.
Yeah, but so the 16 had left, but there were, or is it a group of them had left? But some of them, more people wanted to leave as well.
Yeah.
So Ryan said, "Right, I will stay behind. You guys go to the airport. I'll stay behind, and I will get the next flight."
And the airport was like a strip.
Yeah,
in the jungle. It wasn't like a proper airport.
Yeah.
It was like the landing strip.
It was a landing strip.
Yeah.
But basically Ryan was like, "I'm going to stay, so to try and keep these people safe, right?
Yeah.
And you guys go, and I will follow with the next plane." However, as Ryan was preparing to leave the compound, a loyalist named Don Sly lunged himself with a knife, attempting to slit his throat.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan was unhurt, but a group realized they had to leave like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So what actually happened was they managed to turn the knife on the guy, and the guy actually died. They stabbed him with the knife.
So I didn't know that part. I knew the documentary, it literally led up to the last day,
right,
and then stopped.
Okay, so this
and I was
is
like,
"Are
you fucking joking?"
Well, this is your
this is my little.
So basically, that's what happened. They turned the knife on the guy, and they were like, "Look, Ryan, you need to get out.
Yeah,
we need to go." So he was actually like walking up to this airstrip covered in blood with his shirt like open. Luckily, it wasn't his blood.
No.
It was a close call. However, unfortunately, it's not much better from here. So the group arrived at the Port Katuma airstrip around 4 p.m. They had 2 planes, a smaller 6-seater and a larger 19-seater. As they were boarding, a tractor started to pull up. It's a flatbed trailer, and it was filled with Jones' like Red Brigade guards, basically.
Yeah, they're little law enforcement.
And so they pulled onto the runway, and the guards opened fire with shotguns and rifles. They targeted the tires first to prevent the takeoff, then the people. Obviously, these people are not armed. They're just civilians
trying to flee,
trying to leave Jonestown. They didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Congressman Ryan was shot over 20 times.
Jesus.
To ensure he was dead. They had shotguns, I want to mention.
And by the way, if anybody can hear the weird noises, that is my stomach, and I do apologise.
But he was shot 20 times. I can't imagine what his body actually looked like after being shot that many times, especially if it was a shotgun.
I mean, I'm not going to say.
But also killed were the NBC reporter Don Harris, NBC cameraman Bob Brown, and San Francisco Examiner photographer Greg Robertson, and a defector called Patricia Putt. My God, I'm sorry, Patricia, if you're listening to this on the grave. I do not mean to say your right name. Oh my God, speak. Patricia Parks. That's what she's
There
called.
we go. That wasn't even a difficult last name.
I know. I think I'm plummeting. So, why was he shot? It's pretty obvious why. For Jim Jones, Leo Ryan represented the end of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Jones knew that once Ryan returned to Washington, D.C. with 16 witnesses, the temple's tax-exempt status would be pulled, and he would likely face kidnapping and human rights charges.
Oh, along with several other things.
Yeah. So Jones has spent years telling his followers that the US government, specifically the CIA and FBI, was out to destroy them. So he used Ryan's attack, in quotation marks, as proof that the fascist world was coming for them. So by killing the US congressman, Jones effectively burned the boats. He told his followers, this is a quote, "They will come in here and torture our seniors. They will parachute in here and kill our children." He used the murder, and that's the end of the quotation, by the way. He used the murder of Ryan to convince his followers that they had no choice but to die.
Yeah.
So that is basically just before, this is what pushed him over and being like, this is going to be it.
Well, if I'm going to be taken down, I'm going to take everyone else with me.
Yeah. Exactly. Back at the compound, Jones learns the airship attack has happened. I mean, he knew it was going to happen, but he realizes basically now there is no turning back. The state, in quotation marks, will now come for him.
Well, yeah, they're missing a few of their people.
Yeah.
They're going to come looking for them.
Yeah. So Jones calls everyone to the central pavilion, and this is when the death tape recording begins.
It's the fact that he recorded all of this as well.
Yeah. So Jones tells the group that the congressman's plane will fall out of the sky, and the Guyanese army will soon arrive to torture their children and convert them to fascism. Christine Miller is the only person recorded who audibly argues against this plan.
Good on her.
Yeah, so at 5:45 p.m., the vat of cyanide-laced flavor aid is brought into the center. Oh, this hurts my soul. So under Jones' orders, the children and infants are poisoned first. Nurses and parents use... Oh my God, it makes me really... I'm going to get through this. It's fine.
Yeah, we can do this.
Just the thought of the children makes me really uncomfortable.
Just don't think of them as children while you're reading this.
So nurses and the parents used syringes to squirt the liquid into their throats. And Jones tells the parents, you must be quiet. It's a revolutionary suicide.
It's just disgusting.
I just can't. The fact
these were like newborns as well.
Did you know that they found so many dead children underneath the bodies of adults? 6:30 p.m. The adults begin to drink. Armed guards with crossbows and guns surrounded the pavilion to ensure no one flees the jungle. If you actually watch the tape of this,
I see it.
I saw the tape, and it's horrible. Like, people are running, but then you see them run and they get shot. The people get forced it. They try to run. They will hold people back and make them drink it.
They also injected them. They
injected it. Yeah. It's
not a mass suicide. It's not a political suicide. It's not. It's murder.
Yeah. I also saw this one thing which
murder.
really made me upset. And if you want to see this documentary, it's actually pretty good. It's like a 3-part documentary, and it's on Disney Plus.
This is not a sponsorship, by the way.
It is not a sponsorship, but it's very good. I think it's called like The Cult something. I'll put it in the show notes below.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very good documentary. It didn't have all of the details, but it had some details that I hadn't heard before, which is this one. Basically, as a fuck you to the US government, all of the money that Jim Jones had accumulated, he didn't just go back to the state. This fucker gave it to the Soviet Union.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So to do this, he basically sent one of his loyal followers at the time. He didn't know what was going on, as he probably wouldn't have went, to go and pay the bank this money to the Soviet Union or wherever it was. When he got back, he said it was around 5:30, and he came back to find his wife and his child, and she was holding the child. They had already been poisoned.
Oh God.
He said like he didn't know this was happening. He didn't know about any of this. He came back to find that his child had been poisoned and his wife died in his arms. And he was like, he ran into the jungle at this point. He's like, I'm not, he said all he knew was that he had to survive.
Yeah.
He had to survive this. And he did. And he told the story. But he said it broke him. The reporters kept saying to him, like, trying to talk to me. He's like, I can't talk to you right now. My wife and child had just been murdered. I can't. And yeah, I just can't imagine that.
No, that's, oh God, no.
Yeah.
Thing is, if that was me, I wouldn't want to survive.
I wouldn't.
But at the same time, like, I can understand why he's like, I need to survive, because he needs to be able to tell the story.
Exactly. And also Jim Jones's son was also under scrutiny in the whole thing, and he was like, I don't even know I didn't expect this to happen. You know,
yeah.
He
was just another one of the followers.
Can you imagine being left? Your dad just fucking done that, and you're like, He wasn't even at Jonestown. He was in the city that was close. What was it called? Georgetown. I think he was in Georgetown.
Yeah.
So yeah, his son.
I did wonder how his son
I think
survived.
There was 45 people that was in Georgetown at the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming they were like the closer ones who were allowed to kind of do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. It didn't really go into detail in the documentary. But yeah, his son was in Georgetown. That's why
he also has a son called Jim Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I would have changed my name.
100%. But by 7:30 p.m., most of the 909 residents are dead. Jeez. And their bodies are found in neat rows, and many are holding hands. I've seen the helicopter footage. Have you seen the helicopter footage of all the dead bodies?
Briefly on the documentary I watched, because it was like what's supposed to be the next episode.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, okay, let's turn on the next episode. And I was like, there's no episode.
Lots of people just say it looks like confetti. All of the brightly coloured things, and it's still dead people. 909. So the end of Jim Jones was approximately at 8 p.m. So Jim Jones is found dead on the pavilion stage. Unlike his followers, he did not drink the Kool-Aid.
Of course he didn't.
Because he's a fucking arsehole.
Well, to be honest, it probably wouldn't have killed him for the amount of drugs that are in the system.
It just makes me mad, because I'm like, you made everyone go through that. Cyanide poisoning isn't nice.
No.
It's painful. He made everyone else do that. But he died from a single gunshot wound in the head. This fucker killed himself.
But they didn't entirely know if he killed himself or if he was assassinated.
Yeah, so I was literally about to say, some speculated that he had one of his bodyguards pull the trigger because it was because he was like too cowardly to do it himself, or that someone was like, no, fuck you, I'm going to kill you, and shot him. But there's not really, no
evidence of it.
But that, my friends, is the lovely story of Jonestown.
And that is where the quote, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," comes from.
And this is probably our longest episode at the moment without editing. I mean, there's a bit of editing, so it's more of an hour and a half, but there's 2 hours worth of recordings for me to edit now.
Wow.
Which is going to be fun tomorrow to try and get this done. But yeah, that is the lovely story of Jim Jones, the piece of shit.
Yeah. Who massacred hundreds of people.
Yeah. Now, I would say let's end on a high, but I really need to pee and I really need to get home. So I am going to say let's just please end this now because I don't want to edit any more than I have to edit. But thank you so much, guys, for listening. If you have listened this far, because you have listened for a whole long time. Whole long time? A really long time. And my voice has been a bit of an annoying one to listen to, so yeah, I'm sorry, but next week hopefully my voice will be back to normal.
Yeah, we haven't decided what we're going to be talking about next week.
No, but we will decide.
Yeah, we will be back next week.
But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we're at the Cosspot Confessions Pod. Instagram, we're the Cosspot Confessions Podcast. It's all in the show notes below. But if you could give us a nice comment and subscribe to us if you're listening on YouTube, or follow us if you're on Spotify or YouTube or
whatever you're listening to.
Yeah, just do something, please, because it helps the algorithm push us out to other people.
Yeah.
If you have any listener stories also, then please
send them in to the
us.
Coldspot Confessions Podcast at gmail.com.
Yes. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.